How much money did you put to start the business?
Okay, we raised $100,000.
Raised?
We have 7. We just are local friends.
They won't be friends for long.
Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We post videos every day, so if you'd like to show your support, smash the thumbs up button if you're a fan of Shark Tank, join the notification squad by subscribing and hitting that bell notification on, but also, don't forget to comment down below saying I subscribed to enter our monthly shoutout, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can. Hope you enjoy the video. The Sharks have helped a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs get to the next level with their business over the last 9.5 years, since the show first aired on ABC. However, while most guests tried their best to convince the Sharks to invest, others have stepped in front of the investors rather unprepared or pitched ideas that weren't really thought through, or simply completely useless. These people basically get eaten alive by sharks, and in today's video, we are going to look at 6 Shark Tank pitches that were embarrassingly bad. As most people know, Shark Tank is not really the place to ask for money to fund a concept of a company, which is why things didn't go too well for Adriana Montano in season 6, who asked the investors for $100,000 in exchange for 20% of her hypothetical company Gato Cafe, a cafe where patrons would pay an admission fee to hang out with rescue cats while sipping their coffee. They could enjoy all the benefits cats provide, from their entertaining activities to their ability to improve health and reduce stress, and if they liked a particular cat, they could even adopt it since they were all rescue animals. While Montano was still talking about how the idea of cat cafes was already a worldwide success and how she wanted to open the first one in Florida, Lori already picked up one of the cats the aspiring entrepreneur had brought along with her. And it seemed like the other sharks were also kind of distracted by the cat and her kittens walking around the studio, with Mark Cuban laughing about them the whole time and appearing to be too distracted to listen before he suddenly announced that he was out. The only one who evidently didn't like the cats was Mr. Wonderful, who only asked where the cafe would be situated, since being on a higher level would help getting rid of the cat problem by simply opening a window. While answering the more serious questions by the other sharks, Montano was a little distracted by the cats herself, and it seems like the whole pitch was a kind of a mess.
Spend time with the kitties. Sorry, they're so cute.
How is it different than like a pet store or, you know?
Kevin O'Leary then pointed out the fact that there were a lot of restrictions with serving food around animals, and the sharks also didn't like that Montano only had a concept so far. Guest shark and GoPro founder and CEO Nick Woodman was probably most enthusiastic about the idea, saying that his wife and kids would love to hang out at a cat cafe. However, even though Montano was able to persuade the sharks that the concept wasn't wildly far-fetched, since there are already successful cat cafes out there, the investors didn't like the fact that it was still just a concept, and when they asked her why shouldn't they just take their $100,000 and open their own line of cat cafes instead, she couldn't defend herself as being a valuable partner. Montano eventually left the tank without a deal, and Nick Woodman's recommendation to take out a loan and try opening one on her own. Bruce Gaither pitched an idea that involved using dog poop to attract flies to his all-natural trap in season 4 of Shark Tank, and asked for $25,000 in exchange for a 15% stake in his company. Damon John remarked that he was kind of creating the problem by leaving the poop outside, and even Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane couldn't help convince the sharks of the no-fly cone. On the contrary, they actually laughed at the fact that Gaither brought a spokesman who doesn't even have a dog, and while this was certainly a very entertaining moment in the show, and Gaither got points for bringing his cute dog along, it wasn't enough to get him a deal with any of the sharks. In season 5, Amanda and Jason Adams introduced their product to the sharks, which they believed would help couples everywhere to work out their problems. Their so-called elephant chat was simply a small stuffed elephant inside a clear box with a steel cover, and whenever a partner had an issue they needed to talk about, they could simply remove the cover to expose the elephant in the room to let the other one know. While it might seem like a cute idea that even put a smile on the sharks' faces, the fact that each unit cost $22 to produce and had a retail price of $59 wiped it right off again. The sharks were also not too happy to hear that the couple had plenty of inventory because they had already managed to raise $100,000 in capital from several friends, prompting Kevin O'Leary to joke that they probably wouldn't have those friends much longer.
We raised $100,000.
Raised?
We have 7. We just are local friends.
They won't be friends for long.
The other sharks explained to the couple that charging $60 for a $3 stuffed animal just wouldn't work, no matter how cute the idea might be, and the investors of Elephant Chat had to go home without a deal, only managing to linger in viewers' memories as one of the worst ideas ever pitched in the show. Ivan Barnes and Lisa Evans had recently become parents when they entered the Shark Tank to pitch their product to the panel of investors in Season 5, seeking an $80,000 investment in exchange for a 20% stake in their company. Squeaky Knees was basically a pair of squeaky pads sewn into the knees of toddlers' pants, which was supposed to provide padding as well as inform parents of their children's whereabouts at all times. While this product might seem like a good idea at first, you only have to think about it for about 5 seconds to see that it's actually not. Robert was the first one to realize that, and he quickly pointed out that once your toddler started moving around, it would take no time at all for the incessant squeaking to become incredibly annoying. Ivan brushed the criticism away by saying he found it endearing to come home and see his kids crawling and making this noise, while Cuban argued that a stay-at-home mom would probably feel differently after hearing that sound all day long. And when Lori started talking numbers, things got even worse for the couple who had only managed to sell about 500 units for a mere $10,000 in 3 long years, and they attempted to explain the low numbers by pointing out that they were on one income only, as she was a full-time parent with no marketing background. But O'Leary eventually speculated that perhaps their product simply didn't sell because the idea sucked.
Believe I may be right. I think the idea sucks. And that's why there's no sales.
Okay.
Is that a possibility, maybe?
Anything is possible.
The sharks quickly started dropping out one after the other until only Damon was left, who didn't like the couple's poor excuses and lack of business strategy, or the husband's argumentative nature, and therefore did not want to invest in them either. Unfortunately for tycoon real estate founder and CEO Aaron McDaniel, the sharks not only hated his product idea, but some of them also hated the entrepreneur behind it when he entered the tank in Season 6. McDaniel pitched his real estate crowdfunding service as a way for average people to invest in real estate, but while he was convinced it would change the real estate game forever, he completely failed to convince the sharks that it was a safe model, with Mark Cuban quickly yelling that he hated the idea because it was scammy, and Barbara Corcoran calling it spooky. Even Kevin O'Leary, who was actually interested in making a deal, asked McDaniel if he had a criminal record. McDaniel had obviously counted on making a deal since so many of the sharks are experienced real estate investors, but he could not have been more wrong, as Cuban could barely hide his aversion throughout the entire pitch, calling even the name a ripoff, while the others found the thought of online real estate investment with no oversight rather shady, and did not think McDaniel was someone to be trusted with money. Only Mr. Wonderful eventually made an offer to completely rebrand the business with his own name, and put up the asking price of $50,000 in exchange for 50%, not the 5% McDaniel had been seeking. But when McDaniel flatly refused, the sharks couldn't get rid of him fast enough, shouting after him that they had already forgotten his name. When Arthur Greyer and Michael Woolley walked into the tank in Season 6, seeking $50,000 for 10% of their children's backpack alternative company Vestpacks, the only thing going for them was a couple of little kids modeling the product who kinda stole their thunder. Woolley's daughter had invented the product for science class when she was only 12 years old, and he eventually made a licensing deal with Greyer in 2013, landing the product in 75 Walmart stores. The vest bag combination added a new twist to vests, and its functional design helps distribute the weight. Unfortunately, their sales of $10,000 in 2 months were nothing to brag about, especially with the context of being in Walmart. The only thing the sharks were intrigued by was the story of Woolley's daughter, who had won an entrepreneurship competition and even made it onto Oprah Winfrey's talk show. However, when the investors found out that all that had happened all the way back in 2003, 12 years before this Shark Tank episode aired, and that Woolley's daughter was now 27, they exploded in laughter and could hardly stop.
How old's your daughter now?
She's 27.
Really?
Michael, I thought that was your daughter.
They obviously wondered what had happened in all those years and why it had taken him so long to simply make a licensing deal. So even though the sharks all liked the product, they really didn't like the sales numbers, especially in combination with the fact that he had basically not sold anything until getting into Walmart. Unsurprisingly, Woolley and Greyer went home without a deal because, as Barbara put it so perfectly, it was a sad case of the right product, but the wrong entrepreneurs. Thank you for checking this video out, and don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe for new videos every day. Turn that bell notification on and comment down below that you subscribed, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.